But okay, well that's the patches. Why don't we talk a little bit about Stir's favorite subject, the competitive scene?
No, wait,
Um,
no!
what? What?
The
Hmm?
wish list, the bugs or features you'd like to see
Oh, the
today.
wish. Oh yeah, wish list. Yeah, we gotta do wish list.
Because there's
Good
two
point.
things that piss me off.
Okay.
There's the fact that a Winston can hit a Zarya through her shield when no one else can. And then the
Okay.
second one,
Sure.
oh god, what was the second one? I told myself I wouldn't forget the second one.
Dumbass.
Oh, thank you.
I
for that.
reminded him.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Dumbass
Is
was
that a
the
Zarya
key.
shield on a shielding Reinhardt gives her damage as well. If you hit
If you hit
shield.
Reinhardt's shield? Oh
So
wow,
if
that's totally
Reinhardt has
broken.
a Zarya shield on him,
Mhm.
it gives Zarya damage when people attack his shield. Not even the Zarya shield, his shield.
Was
Really?
was it because Zarya's shield like bubbles out like outside of his shield? You know what I mean? Is that the
No,
reason
no, no,
for
no.
it? No. Okay.
It's
You
not.
know what I'm
It's not
saying, right? Like
necessarily.
maybe the diameter of his.
No, because his shield absorbs the damage, not her shield. Like he actually loses damage on
Oh,
his
okay,
shield.
okay.
Or
So it actually
the
does hit
tankiness
his
of it.
shield. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
and as a
Yeah.
Winston, when you're attacking a Zarya, you don't hear any damage ticks, but you are doing damage
Yeah, sure.
and feeding her charge.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the current meta. It's just things I've noticed that annoy the
No, no.
hell out
That's
of me.
this wish list is a little. This is where we kind of talk about bugs too. One thing I did miss. I'm not sure if they fixed it or not because I haven't gotten a chance to try it yet. But I think about a week and a half ago, there was an issue with Roadhog's ultimate when I had an inverted mouse, it wouldn't invert.
Wait, what?
Yeah, with you're using inverted mouse, right? Like if you just that setting inverted mouse.
Yeah, I know that
Yeah.
you play with an inverted mouse.
Well, my son does, so he was telling me about it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I was
and
gonna. Okay,
Dumbass.
no,
I can't
I
make fun
don't
of your
play with it.
son.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can make fun of you, but not your son.
Yeah, I don't actually do it in inverted mouse, but he was saying the Roadhog, the inverted mouse wasn't working with the Roadhog alt. Like that's the only thing in the game it wasn't working with. So that was something I forgot to point out last week, but they might have changed it by now because I think he posted somewhere. I don't know anything else. Minstrel, anything you wish was in the game that's like little buggy bugs or feedback to
Uh,
the designers.
all my wish lists are like balance related.
Okay,
So,
okay.
No, I know there's one wish that you have that Genji was removed from the game, right? That's a bug,
no.
right? That he's in the game.
Well, that's a few iterations back. We can remove some
A few
people now.
iterations back. The introduction of Genji. Okay, let's gone. Ster, come on. I know you got something.
Uh,
You're finding all kinds of
I,
things all the time.
I don't. I know there was something, but it's just like I forgot. I don't know. The most recent bug I can remember is I think I McCree high noon ulted a diva getting in her mech, and I pulled the
Oh,
trigger
nice.
and nothing happened, and
Oh,
I cried a little. I have the worst McCree ults in the whole game. That they
oh, he
actually bugged
does.
out on diva.
Watch his stream, guys. He's like, you're so great at McCree outside of his ult. Your ults are
I
the
killed
worst.
a guy one time. It was great.
His McCree
One
ults
time.
I don't know.
are the worst, man.
I haven't been running into anything lately that has like severely annoyed me besides Torbjorn needs to be changed. It's been a while. He's not fun to play against in pubs still. The 75 health on everybody is I can't 1v1 people while I'm also trying to destroy a turret
Well,
20
could you
plus.
1v1 them anyways? You know,
Mhm.
they didn't have
No.
the extra life. Yeah, I
No.
mean, that just sounds like a problem with you, mate. No, I agree though. It's
No.
frustrating. And also, it's not a bug, but the fact that the junk stays there even though you can't see it. So like, if you're playing, you kill people, you switch to Torbjorn. I forgot his name because I hate him. And you can see junk on the ground that you can pick up. So you
Mhm.
go take the first battle, then you switch to God, I forgot his name already. Torbjorn, and then you pick up
Jeez.
the trash, the junk, and then you give armor to your whole team. And it's like, all right, well, my job's done.
Yeah, it just stays there forever. You can walk onto the point and go, "Oh, I have like 300 scrap here."
It's
The enemy
candy.
team
It's
can't
candy.
see where armor is on the ground, so if like someone picks up armor while they're fighting you, you're just like, "I thought I killed him. What happened?"
Right.
You have no idea. He is in such an awkward, shitty spot right now. That's
Still
it's
not,
just
it's
based
been
off
so long.
still
in
not being
general.
played at high level though.
Like the NG wasn't played in TF2 really,
crazy.
except like in very situational things.
Yeah, I
And
mean that's
Blizzard's-
fine. That's fine if he's bad. I'm fine with the turret guy being bad. Not every character has to be like good and tournament viable. It's never gonna happen.
That's the
Yeah,
problem, though,
true,
is that
true.
Blizzard has stated that they want every hero viable in every situation, or at least in any situation. No, not every or any.
They shouldn't do
In
that.
a situation on every map, like they want every hero to be viable. But the problem is you can't have that. It's just
I don't know.
think a possibility.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a smart way to just design. I mean, it should be more of like, okay, here's a toolkit, and these are a bunch of
like you were
tools,
saying,
and let's just like combine them and see how, like what things fit for the maps. It shouldn't be like, okay, this guy's
and design
for
it that way.
sure got to be good.
You could have characters counting, like Zarya does counter Roadhog really well. Like you say, Zarya isn't very good in high level competitive, but if for some reason Roadhog, there's like 2 of them on a team, you'd probably pick Zarya's and be like, okay, well now she's useful. That's kind of okay, but Torbjorn for me is like, I fucking hate this guy. back in the day, back in the alpha, I think Symmetra's shield was 75 as well, or 100. It might actually have been 100, which...
That's crazy.
And they talked about, I can't remember, with some
crazy.
interview somewhere, they talked about how that was way too powerful, and Symmetra was like way too powerful because she just gave way too much armor. And they gave Torbjorn 75 armor packs again. Like, they already knew this was a bad idea, and it's the only thing he spends scrap on now. He doesn't have to worry about his turret or anything.
All right,
It's just
Ster,
everybody gets health.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, turn down your lights a little bit, lay in your bed, and just tell me how you really feel about Torbjorn. Let's just talk this through, all right?
For the last time, he's Swedish!
Oh my God.
I can't. I live in
Oh
Europe. I
man,
can't say
we
shit
just
like that.
alienated all the Swedish people in this.
That's one of his dialogue lines. It doesn't make any sense either. That's another
Aardvark.
issue I have with the guy.
Okay.
Aardvark does pay off, but for the last time, he's Swedish.
Still-
Who doesn't
I-
think he's Swedish?
I still think he's got the sweetest skins though, like in the game.
He's
All
got
right.
the Swedish chef as a spray.
I like the biker
I know.
skin. I like the biker one, man. It's awesome. Okay, let's.
There's no such thing as Swedish bikers.
So
Nothing makes
that's
me feel more American than seeing the biker Torbjorn skin. Oh no! The Soldier 76.
come on,
skin.
Soldier
Oh
76,
my
the freaking
lord.
John Travolta.
I want to
Soldier
stab my
76.
eyes out when I see that, even though it's a shout out to Evil Knievel.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's talk about competitive events. So first, the ESL event. There's
Yeah,
an
that
ESL
guy
event.
who
Some of the
didn't want
news.
to be here today.
Yeah, the guy who didn't want to be here. Oh yeah, Ben. This is usually Ben's like segment to run here, but
Well, no, he's
Um,
hosting the tournament, and he didn't even want to show up and talk about it.
host the
Oh,
tournament.
he is
Oh
at
yeah.
Blizzard.
We're gonna be talking about that tournament, but he's at Blizzard.
We're
right now.
all over the place right now.
Yeah. All right, so I guess let's kick things off with ESL. Jason obviously runs his own events. What's the update on I guess ESL events for upcoming future? We're not gonna talk about results first. I just kind of figured.
Let
Pass it off to you.
me call my PR person so I know what I can and can't say.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so we've been doing free tournaments ever since for the entirety -1 tournament, which Minstrel hates us for now for 16 hours, which was really just 8. Just saying.
I know you were enjoying the casting too.
Oh, I loved casting at 4 a.m. I loved casting for 8 hours straight, and then having to stay up another 4 hours after that doing VODs. So we've been doing free tournaments. For the most part, just testing out like rule sets. With initially it was hero limits, so 1 hero max per team.
Yeah.
There was good feedback. There was bad feedback. I'd say honestly, mostly from the teams, it was good feedback. But
Really?
then we
Okay.
tested. Yeah, a lot of teams in Europe. I mean, even when they played in the Ghost of Gamers tournament around that time, they weren't running any more than 1 hero at a time.
Sure.
Until they came into the Cancer comp. That was the 2 Lose to 2 Reaper 2 Winston. But in the future, I'd say I can't really reveal too much.
But some
But
plans.
it's
some plans.
very, very bright. Yeah, I know ESL is really looking forward to getting into Overwatch, and I'm the product manager for it and also the caster for it. So I also get to help like choose what events we do and such. So
Yeah.
bright future, definitely. A lot of I would assume within like a year's time of the game coming out that people or pros can live off the money that they'd be like making and playing for, and also salary.
After a year's time. Okay, that's good.
I mean, you don't want to. I don't want to say it too soon because then people will be like, "Oh, Jason, you remember back on the overview you talked about this?" But I mean, the game still needs to come out first, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
A couple months away, practically. Yeah,
I mean-
2 months and 2 days away.
The biggest thing is that I think they need a full year, right? And the game's gonna be releasing like midway through this year. So 2016, we'll just see. Hopefully there's some events. Possibly big event, at least I would say at BlizzCon. Maybe one big event. But I think when 2017 comes around, I'm expecting some huge things like structure wise and everything for Overwatch. That'll be interesting to see. But yeah, let's get into I guess just the actual news from this week, which was it's as always like Go2 Gamers having their EU and NA cups. So EU, no big surprises here. I don't know for you guys. Did you guys see anything like worth mentioning? I mean, it's like anything pop up there?
No,
Ster, nothing.
I didn't see anything.
I mean, I guess I could talk about like Reunited. They still lack a caller. Like they really need the person to be up there and say, "This is what we do, and this is what we need to do." IDQD is still just destroying everyone, not
exactly.
even based off of strats, not even just it's just
better.
better
Yeah.
in every category. Aim, game awareness, just they'll continue to do that for I think for quite a long time.
Yeah.
No real new teams. I mean, you can't really talk about any new teams being brought up because the beta waves haven't really let in that many people. So like the standard teams, Taimu playing for G2, Flat Earth picked up. Who was it? Sort of outsider. They're running with Crew. So Crew left Melty actually, because they didn't really get along well. So he joined Flat Earth to take outsider spot, who was like the big star in my opinion, at least on Reinhardt in the first beta phase. So now he's playing for them, and Melty are still trying to find their 6. But Melty are still struggling with having time to scrim.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It could talk forever on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, EU's just an interesting in an interesting place right now because IDQD obviously has been the best team for weeks now, and might have changed this week when we go into the NA talk here, but the NA Go-To Gamer talk at least. But EU for like at least during the pre-break period, was looking really really good. With Melty and just just the other, I guess, second tier teams. There were a lot more second tier teams than there were in NA, and now I think we're seeing just like a lull, like in EU. If it wasn't for IDQD, I mean, I think NA would be it'd be obviously a better region right now. So I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
Whoa.
It is. What?
Whoa.
What?
I mean, I know Minstrel had his time. Actually, were you even on Hubris? I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, of course he is on Hubris. Yeah, he was.
I'm an idiot. I think it's the meta that's making IDQD so good. You have Mendo and Sivik, who can both play basically anything but play assassins to a really high level. And before that, the meta didn't really need 2 assassins, so teams are having a hard time adjusting to having those characters, those heroes in their repertoire, and their like inventory to use.
Reptar. I'm sorry, I'm just picking up keywords right now.
Yeah.
Rugrats?
Well, yeah, I mean, IDQD also is like practicing a ton too, and I know a lot of the teams are, including
They
Envy
won't
here
play
too.
EU team. They won't play EU team.
They won't play EU team. Is that what they said?
not gonna-
So that kind of like
Yep.
talks that kind of sums up what I'm talking about right here. It just seems like EU. I don't know if it's because of beta key, just beta access or not, but it's not quite as deep as it was looking before, which is kind of interesting to note. But going into
this Minstrel?
yeah,
Sorry, I'm just really curious.
yeah.
Would you agree with that when the game is out in 3 months' time, not alone just the rosters, but the top teams will be different? Do you agree with that? Or maybe a little bit more time?
I'm not sure about that. I don't think 3 months from now, if you have like a brand new team, if you grab
6.
all your
Let's say 6.
oh, I mean there could be well, I think there's going to be more teams at the top level. I don't know if the top will be different. There'll probably be roster changes that always happens, but I don't think it'll be like some team with people we've never heard of is going to come in and be like the number 1 Overwatch team at BlizzCon.
right.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of the teams already in beta at the moment.
So Ster, well, actually, one of the things that we talked last week was just how it's hard for people, even good players right now, to start a team from scratch. Not try out for an existing big team. And Ster, I know when you were hosting the show back in the day, you were thinking about possibly playing competitively. I don't know if you still feel that way or not.
I don't think I'm going to, but if I did, I'm at the point where it's like I would just wait for the game to come out first. And maybe there's a lot of people that don't have the game, and maybe there are people that are just waiting to because right now competitive, honestly, it's changing every week. It's kind of like a mess to keep up with. And keep up with every single thing that's going on. Okay, this week we need to practice this new strategy. But if I were gonna play, I'd want things to even out a bit before getting into it.
Yeah,
I'm just
there aren't
having
a
fun
lot
pubbing.
of high-level players who aren't already on a team or just
Well-
are interested in playing competitive in the beta pool.
Well, that's another thing too, and I know, Ster, you had an issue with it too, even just months ago. Is trying to find people. How do you? I don't feel like there are any pugs going on right now, and custom
That
games
would
are
help
starting
as well.
up. Like, how do we do that? Do we do that in Discord? Do we do that? I mean, where do people actually find other players or other really top tier players to try to even get a team together?
Well, they already know them from other games.
Yep.
That's why.
That's
how
the
all
thing.
these
Right now,
teams
But,
are
it's
but there's still
it's
there's gonna be
very,
new
like,
blood though. There's got to be new blood. I mean, in Overwatch. So how do these people find each other?
probably just in pubs right now, but like
Yeah.
most of the teams, it's all people who've been playing competitive FPS for years and years, and they know people, and they just form up that way.
Yeah, that's another thing. Everyone has the people that they want to play with already, that mysteriously all got into the beta together. I don't know how that happened.
How
And it's all it's a very like click thing. Like, we're gonna play together. This is our group. It doesn't matter right now who's good, who's not good.
Yeah.
It's people have friends that they're playing with, that they enjoy playing with. There is no like pickup games where you could be like, oh, you know what, that guy
That's
actually is pretty good, because no one's playing that. And I think there are a lot of people that don't have the interest yet because it's a beta and they're not ready to take the balance. Like, same thing I was saying, take it too seriously yet.
That's
Okay.
the problem right now, is that you have to be friends with someone who's friends with someone else to like maybe get in a mix with them, or to have your name be brought up to actually get into a
Yeah,
team. But
yeah,
like as League of Legends kind of developed, it came down to like ranked, matchmaking, whatever. Like the top guys, like, oh, he's a top challenger or masters player. He's actually really good. Maybe we should try him out. And hopefully it actually becomes that way in Overwatch, where
yeah.
it's like a legitimate ranked kind of scene, which is a whole nother topic, is how Blizzard's going to do matchmaking.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
point.
like back
That's
to
a
the
good point.
original question you had. I don't think the teams will be the same in 3 months.
I don't
I
think
think
so
I don't
the
think so
players will be similar, but people are already like dropping this guy, get this guy. They're not going to be the exact same teams. You might see a couple new players in there. It's not going to be like shockingly new, but I think it'll get mixed up a bit in 3 months.
There's just
Yeah.
too many people come into the game to like say no to, or you might see a support who's better than yours, and yeah, you've been friends with them for a long time, but you're gonna have to, cut ties if you want to be the best team, right?
yeah.
We're we've only got like 5 official players at the moment, so we're trying people out to be our 6th, and there's not a lot of options
Jason
available.
Kaplan,
Jason Kaplan.
Yeah.
get cast and
Ster,
play.
man. That's Ster. Ster is your green light, man. Try out.
Yeah, I'll
Try
play
out.
I'll play Lucio.
You can only
Lucio.
play
Lucio.
Torbjorn.
It's gonna be 2 Lucios, double Lucios.
Yeah, you have to play. Okay, if you had to play Torbjorn, but you could be unenvious, would you do it?
Oh man, that's
I
a
don't
good
have a problem
question.
playing. I like playing
question.
Torbjorn. I like cover my eyes when I really great. He's fun. I don't like playing against him.
Yeah. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with like two-shotting someone with his like 18 ammo, max range, no damage fall off gun.
Oh gosh. All right, so let's talk about the Ghosted Gamers NA Cup, which the last 2 weeks I feel like it's been stacked, and this week again, it just had the best teams I feel like in Overwatch all playing in the same place, and we.
Minus ID to QD.
What? Oh.
Minus ID to
Oh,
QD.
minus ID to QD.
Best
And
team in the world.
well, I guess this week, yeah, minus ID. They played last week and they won, obviously, but this week obviously didn't happen, and we see Envy being victorious again in NA, and that's obviously great for Minstrel and you guys. But I do want to point out like this one team that seemed to make a little just a name for themselves, or a little bit of a name for themselves, which was Code 7. And just that double tracer, right? I mean, they had obviously the meta right now is we can talk about the meta, the cancer meta in a second, but any kind of wins over notable teams is gonna just gonna have get exposure for your team, and it's like really really important for that to happen. So I don't know, what do you guys think about Code 7?
Well, I think Minstrel's probably the best one to answer that question.
Sure, yeah, Minstrel.
We've been scrimming them some. I mean, in the current meta, it's like by far the most important players are your tracer players, and their tracer players are good. But I mean, in terms of exposure, obviously it might not be good when they Google their names and see that they were banned for cheating last year in competitive CS. So
Ouch. Okay, well,
Well,
that-
funny that you say that.
Wow.
There's another team in there that you played against that did have someone who's actually permanently banned in CS:GO at the moment.
AZK, yeah, but that's
Yeah.
just match fixing.
That's
He
just
wasn't,
match
cheating.
fixing.
Yeah.
That's
That's
just
all that
match
was.
fixing. Oh wow. Okay.
Well,
They
He's
wanted
not
to
the
have
only one
swag
I've ever.
too,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
was he playing before
No, well,
and then he got cut or
wait,
something?
no. Was it you guys? No, it was Dummy. Dummy messaged me in the first beta wave asking about swag in AZK if they're allowed to play, like in ESL stuff. And then now Steel potentially wanted to try it as well. If you guys don't know who they are, from iBuyPower and CS:GO,
Yep.
the best North American team at the time, I guess is really safe to say. I guess Cloud9 was like their other rival, but they got caught for match fixing where they were betting skins indirectly and would get large sums of money or skins back they could sell. But they wanted to play as well, which actually wouldn't be a bad addition, but it's a really tricky subject, right? Of how you go about that. They got banned for match fixing, which is different from cheating. That's 100% true. But how would Blizzard take having people who are banned? Yeah, it's Valve, it's a different company, but being permanently banned by Valve, would they allow them to play in a Blizzard sponsored
And
tournament?
also might be difficult to, if you're looking to get like a sponsor team. They're like, we got some high profile players you might have heard of when they got permanently banned. for match
just
fixing.
an asterisk there for you guys. Yeah, was banned for match fixing. So
Oh, don't worry, you
let's go over
can't trade Overwatch skins. It'll be fine.
All right, so
Yet.
I mean, here's kind of a counter argument or devil's advocate. So is it a scarlet letter? I mean, for these guys, should they not be given chances again to play on top teams because of it?
That's a can of worms. I think that's something that's
Well, that's
been
what we're
discussed
talking about.
quite a few times.
I mean, you're
I
talking about a different
personally-
devs, right? And
Yeah, I personally think that their ban should be up. Like, you can't directly relate esports to sports. You can't say, well, some baseball player got kicked out completely
Pete
and
Rose,
is like complete record like white. Yeah,
Pete
thank you, Rose.
yeah.
I was thinking Rose. Because he like bet on his own game and threw it.
Mhm.
But you can't compare that to esports where you can't directly relate the same. I think they should be unbanned and have the opportunity to play in other tournaments. I think they've shown all of them that they have been on good behavior and do feel bad about it. It's kind of rough to completely shut out someone's career over something like that. Like, it's obviously very picky and Valve want to set a precedent, but you can't ban them from every game. That's just
yeah, I mean, it's
not
a
okay.
different game altogether too. So I agree. I think they should be given at least one chance, but I do understand the concerns. It sounds like Envious probably has you guys have a rule of not having people with past history of this type of
I
thing.
mean, we don't have any official rules, but obviously, if someone's got someone who's got like multiple bans for cheating in previous games or like match fixing, probably don't want them on your team.
Fair enough.
Speaking of that,
Fair enough.
I want to bring this up. There's actually Overwatch betting now for money on betting websites.
Yes,
I saw linked me something like,
somebody
"Hey, Jason, who should I
emailed me
bet on?"
too. Yeah.
And I'm like, not giving you advice on that because I'm pretty sure if I were to do that, then I would get in trouble. So it's a very tricky spot because it wasn't publicly announced before they match fixed that if you match fix, you'd be banned forever. But that was the decision made.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're entering that era of Overwatch where we're gonna have to be careful of things like this. So hopefully,
It's gonna be rough.
yeah,
really
I mean,
gonna be rough.
it's inevitable to happen. It always happens. No matter what game you're talking about, it'll happen to some degree. But let's just hope it doesn't become a problem at all, where people can catch folks earlier, or players just can just be more responsible and professional and not
Players
fall
don't
into
do
that.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't even bother. Yeah, you can win a little bit of quick money, but don't screw your entire Overwatch career because you bet on one game to make a couple $100.
Yeah.
Like, not worth it.
Absolutely. But anyways, let's talk more about Envious. I mean, we just touched on you guys winning briefly, and you guys in mix up in the finals. It's like old times again. You guys playing over and over pre-break in the NA Gosu Gamers Cup finals. You told me you played 4 out of 10. You gave yourself a 4 out of 10, playing wise in the tournament. So expound on that a little bit, because 4 out of 10, you still won the tournament. So
yeah, well, it's like our Numbani offenses were all 0 out of 10, so that brings down the average.
Wow. Okay, so everything else was 8 then.
No, I'd say it's the way with the current meta is you can get snowballed really hard, and there's not much you can do about it. If you get split spawns and ult disadvantage, and then you just give up 3/4 of the map for free on snowballing. But when we actually got a chance to set up, our defenses were pretty good in general, I'd say, so a 7 or 8. But yeah, on just taking into account some of the like snowballing and like bad Numbani attack, I'd like average it out to around like 4 out of 10.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
actually curious about that point you made about snowballing, because this is
Mhm.
something I've been thinking about for a while. Do you think longer maps and longer distance between checkpoints would help fix that?
I think when
Or
you
more
capture
points?
a point, it should reset everyone's
Yeah.
alt to 0 and place them in a spawn, the new spawn. So, and then have like a 10-second countdown or whatever to switch classes and get ready, and then people set up and fight again.
Oh, even a countdown. I don't know, a countdown. That's an interesting
Eh.
idea, though. Yeah. Ster, what do you think of actually? What do you think of that idea?
I think that would kill like spectator, like it just ruins the momentum of everything. It's like, oh, let's stop and reset. And I do agree that the spawn time should be adjusted a little bit. Like if a point is captured, the defenders should all just respawn so that they have like a chance to be ready.
Well, it's a
Especially
question I think of that's more skill based in terms of like a lot of times if you have like, you know, especially with the tracer comp, if you have like Symmetra and Zenyatta get split spawn in the close spawn and everyone else is in the back, then they're going to get killed for free.
oh yeah,
and all
that's
that.
always been
And then they get more ult, and then they run up and throw tracer bombs at your new spawn and maybe kill someone, and then they've got like 2/3 of the map done.
Well, I've always been disappointed that you couldn't forward spawn, like back spawn. The way you in TF2, if you're in a forward spawn but your opponent gets captured, if you change classes, you can go backwards to where your team actually is and where you're useful. The game doesn't have that, and that kind of just sucks. But that's kind of a bit of that problem.
I think I can speak to the to what Ster was saying about the as a spectator, it's not fun to watch. Then pushed up to a checkpoint, then it's like, all right, reset. But the problem I have right now is there's no big GG moment in the game. There's no next blown up like in a MOBA. There's no, player quits out of the game like in StarCraft. In CS, there's no round ending. There's no 16th round. And right now, as a spectator, it's absolutely boring to watch because, yeah, you can have a timer on the screen, but you want to see that GG moment, that build up. And as a caster, I guess that's your job. But you're not really given the tools to do it at the moment.
You do see it in King of the Hill, but you don't see it.
That's the only one.
Yeah, and that's why it
Capture
is.
Point, I guess, as well. But even capture points based off time.
No, that's a time
which
thing.
No one plays
It's hard to
capture
do a
point.
big GG moment.
Yeah.
But that's like inherently a problem of stopwatch. It's going to be anticlimactic most of the time.
See, I think there's so many things that
No,
can
they
be
could-
changed with
they
it
could
that's
add it.
frustrating.
Mm-hmm. They could definitely.
Like, so you need it's really hard to, as a viewer, get into it and see it. Like in CS, you can just literally tune in and understand what's happening. But the way you would ideally do stopwatch then with this kind of mode is that you would have a timer that shows time it takes to like get to the finish. Because like thing is, like at the moment right now, you can't tell when someone can't finish the game. Like you can have a general idea, but there's no like pinpoint moment that, all right, 3 minutes and 58 seconds have passed. There's no possible way they can finish the game now. So you need that moment to be like a GG moment. Instead, the game just plays out and they try, even though you know as a spectator or a caster the game's over and there's no point to hype it
Well,
up.
yeah,
anymore.
Yeah, well,
that's something
Yeah,
people
sorry.
just shouldn't be doing. And I think the UI is a big problem in this
Yeah.
too, that there's no like you can tell very clearly what's going on. If the UI was better and people were willing to actually quit out when they knew they lost.
well, let's just
I mean,
talk. Let's just talk about stopwatch, right? I mean, UI wise, I think one of the things they absolutely need to add is not only have the current objective time that they have, but they need a total time. So like first round or whatever, that total time just goes up. And then when it's the second, just basically the opposite, when your opponent, plays attack or whatever, then that timer needs to go down, and then it needs to become, when it gets closer to down
It has
to a
to be a
minute,
dynamic
yeah,
timer.
it becomes like there's some kind of urgency to it, like it appears
even then-
bigger and that sort of thing.
Well, even then, like
Mm-hmm.
having that countdown, it's like you could be at the second checkpoint or the first, second, whatever you want to call it, checkpoint in Bonnie, and say that takes 45 seconds to do, but they don't have 45 seconds on the clock. The game's over, right? It's over at that point. There's no point to keep going. A countdown won't really be entertaining because you physically know there's no way that team could win. So you'd have to make a clock that's dynamic that would be
What do you
able to realize when they can't finish.
Well,
So
I
like
mean,
a second half, like the first half they finished in like 8 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Second half,
sure.
you're 7 minutes in, but you're over a minute away from having 3 people push the payload the entire time. So like say you get to the capture point, that takes 2 minutes, but that's where they are. Like there's no
Yeah, there's two
physically
elements.
possible way, even if they were uninterrupted, for them to finish. So you would have to have the GG there or before that. But the problem is with the way it's currently set up, and even adding in a timer won't facilitate that big GG moment, that big buildup you need as a caster and a viewer that you want to see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The issue is there's two elements. Yeah, whether you finish an objective or whether the timer hits 0. Those are both those moments, and it's definitely confusing, and definitely hard for a caster to kind of build those up. But that's what we have. I don't see them. How are they going to do it any differently with the current game formats we have?
This is the only other way you could do it. Where you have a ghost payload. You have a ghost payload that moves along with them, or that moves along the map.
Yeah,
for the
ghosts.
first half.
Yeah.
But if you do
That
distance,
would be interesting.
yeah, that's the problem. Is that inherently comes with this problem of it will still be stopwatch because the game finishing, but you can either make it so the defense has it so they will majority of the time win. Thus, it's really hard on the offense to push all the way through, or you can choose a combination of a ghost payload with a timer to see. But then you still have to have that moment of when they can't possibly win, or the pace they need to be going to actually have a chance to win, kind of thing. It's really confusing.
As much as people don't like playing it right now and have completely given up on it, I like control points for that reason. That when a team can and can't win. Like, you haven't captured the point yet, you lost. Or if they couldn't capture on the other team. I don't know. I'm like the only person in the world, it feels like, that likes capture point. They totally do need to fix spawns, though. Like, when you capture the first point, respawn everybody and get things like back to a kind of a neutral spot. Not to slow things down, but just respawn everybody and get them ready. But yeah.
Yeah,
that hasn't been happening.
It's going to be hard, though. It's just a design. There's all kinds of ways I feel like you can cheese capture point maps, and it's something that I think all players that's why they ban them, right? They just don't even want to deal with it.
It could just be so punishing, like to not have the right comp at that time. I think maybe Minstrel, maybe just more capture points instead of 2, it's like 3 or 4, because then you can actually have a chance to put up a solid defense somewhere instead of just being snowballed.
Yeah, it would need to be longer maps, or do something like make you replay the map, like make it 2 out of 3 on just the capture point, so you just like cycle it multiple
like
times if they don't want to redesign the map. But yeah, you can like cap Hanamura and all these maps in like a minute 15 or something like that.
Yeah, so that's not a bad idea.
You pick up the wrong comp on defense and they come out with some cheese which perfectly counters that. You're basically screwed instantly. You didn't even get to play the game.
Yeah, best of 3 would be pretty good for it. Like you said, they're super short games. So
then what would you do if you would do the time difference if all teams completed? You'd have to add up their times to see who'd do the fastest.
I don't know.
Yeah, it'd pretty much be that. Yeah, I think it'd be whatever the times are at the end of.
I mean,
3 rounds.
That could work if you have the times carry over in the game.
Yeah, right.
Like you have Team A, and that was their first time. You have Team B, and it just keeps adding to it when they go again, kind of thing. That would be possible. Yeah, possible.
It's still not the best, honestly. Like just from a standpoint of observer or just spectator.
Why don't we all just give up?
we're not giving up. That's why we're talking about it. But yeah. But anyway, this comes back to just snowballing, right? And snowballing being an issue. What do you guys think of snowballing on King of the Hill maps? Right now, is a huge issue. I mean, I think Nepal. I think the second round on Nepal just is ridiculous. It seems to always be ridiculous from a standpoint of just who can capture the point first and then have high ground, and just that choke is like pretty tough to get through a lot of times. It's always been an issue, at least I know in a lot of the pub games and things. What do you guys think of it generally being an issue in King of the Hill? Because King of the Hill does have GG moments. So that's what's exciting about that format.
There's still a lot of things that need to be tweaked about it as well, still, but
it's such a mess.
What?
Really?
You think so?
Really, at the core King of the Hill, it really is like just such a mess of everyone jumping everywhere, and I don't know. The game mode is just, it feels sloppy to me. I don't have any
give it an example.
I don't have any constructive criticism here. No examples.
No examples. Okay.
No.
Minstrel, how about you?
You don't deserve it.
Generally, do you like King of the Hill maps competitively?
Well, it's whoever. They're okay. They're probably in terms of the most, or the best team winning most of the time. I think it would go Payload, then King of the Hill, and then Capture Points.
Mm-hmm.
So Capture Point has the most variance. King of the Hill is, if you capture first, you probably have a big advantage. And then you have the ult advantage.
Well, yeah, that is the big issue, is if you do capture first, and then you have a Mei keep ice blocking on the point and contesting it forever, that team that captured it first is still going up to 99% the whole time. It's
Yeah.
You
awkward.
compare that to every other map, and it's like payload. Well, the payload stops moving. Control point, the capture stops.
Yeah.
So why should you still be rewarded for contesting a point or for holding a contested point?
I have said, I think on another one of these podcasts, I think the overtime mechanic needs to be looked at. Because if you really try and push for long overtimes and just go to the point and do like the cheesiest things you can do to contest it, it goes on forever. There's no like...
It might go on forever, but you're never going to come back if you're just like literally piecemealing into it just to reset the thing every time. Like go in May and just, like obviously draw it out for another 10 seconds.
May on a point has a machine gun now.
Yeah, but you're still 5-on-1, 5-on-2. I mean, 6-on-1, 6-on-2. I mean, it's still not even close. I mean,
If you're getting it in May, though.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, definitely something that they have to continue to look at, and maybe even try to develop a format that helps.
Yeah,
with
more than a big GG moment, I feel like overtime can sometimes have it just be more exhausting. Like, when's it over?
I've seen. Oh God, I can't remember the map off the top of my head, but there was over 1 minute of overtime on the first point. Like they were pushing on Dorado, and it took them over a minute of overtime to actually get it to the next section.
I've seen a couple of those. There was a couple on Kings Row early on, and I had one recently on Yizhong Tower in a pub that was just... I had a gold medal of 6 minutes for capture time.
Yeah, but isn't that a built-in mechanism to make it exciting? I mean, if it just like ended like immediately there, then I mean that's anticlimactic. I mean that's not great for sure. So I don't know what you would like, and just alternatively.
I said the longer it goes on, the faster the timer goes down when someone steps off of it. Because if you have it going on for like 5 minutes, it should start to have like a little bit of a decay on it.
Okay.
Yeah, drop off.
But it's not that long to begin with, is it? What is it, like 4 seconds maybe? And if you cap a point, it adds 2 minutes on the clock anyway. So it's not like you're going to end up in an 8-minute overtime very often.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
Overtime's also inherently against the attacking team because it's like you have to throw people into it, so eventually you'll probably lose. But if you have that one crazy good play out of someone, it could potentially actually turn it back in the defense or the attacking side's favor.
And it's still stopwatch, so it's not like you're adding to their time.
That's true. Okay, well let's talk about cancer meta. We haven't even touched on cancer meta yet. Come on, we gotta talk about cancer. We gotta talk about it. We gotta cover. This is like this week. It's gonna be different next week, guys. So might as well talk about the cancer meta, which is those of you who don't know, it's basically for support. Double Zens, Lucio, Symmetra, and then either double tracers or tracer Genji, depending on which team you are and which I guess what you think is better. All right, so this developed. I don't know how long ago this developed. Maybe a week and a half ago or so.
I think it's been back like a couple weeks.
2 weeks now. Okay.
Well,
feels like years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is being played everywhere: Asian server, European servers, NA server. I mean, just everybody is doing it at this point.
I think every high-level team does it on attack now.
Yeah. And talk a little bit about the differences between double tracer and tracer Genji.
Well, in maps where you don't need the verticality of Genji, I think double tracer is clearly better because they're better in a one-on-one, and they're also better at killing the supports and probably more survivable. And it's like the bomb is really easy to charge, and if you actually hit someone with it, it's a free kill unless they have transcendence. So I think the tracer is clearly better, unless we're talking like Hollywood mid or someplace like that where you need to be able to climb up top. But in general, I think double tracer is superior.
Okay. Ster, have you played much against this in public games? I mean, I know a lot of people try to mimic this stuff all the time.
That's
all I play
earth.
against are 6 stacks. So yeah.
6 stacks?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
man.
because I'm playing quick play doesn't mean I'm not playing like competitive scrims.
I know, it's true.
That's the
It's-
scum of the
it's-
earth. The people who do it in pubs. It's like, really?
I know,
You're
it
6
did
stack and you
happen
need to
once.
Run that? Come on.
I was shocked. It was shocking. They even did the Hanzo at the beginning where everyone scatter arrowed, and then they switched to like that, and it was
That's like
Why?
teams in Counter-Strike who do matchmaking together to get better instead of playing like ESEA or Face It or like an actual
Yeah,
league.
literally
Yeah.
none of those exist.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, it's tough to deal with. I don't know. I haven't obviously had to do it often, so I can't be like, oh well, I feel like this probably countered it.
Right.
I don't know. It's just tough. It's getting everyone's finding the fastest characters that do the most damage, which is what you kind of assumed would happen at the start, is everyone wants the mobility to get things done and damage to kill everybody.
That's
And
how
they
it
figured
is
it
in
out.
like every competitive FPS. It's almost always a mobility bias. You get rocket jumping, sticky jumping,
Yeah.
scout double jump. Top tier is almost always the most mobile characters.
It's hard to stop him too. Like Genji, even if you want to stop Genji from moving around, he'll put his reflect up. So you could say like, oh, I bet a Widowmaker could maybe die to all this.
What's funny is like the way people are countering it is with Zenyatta, right? The Discord orb is the way to try to.
Unless your time move, that you just absolutely wreck everything as a Widowmaker up close and personal.
That's,
Have you
that's
have you guys seen
awesome.
that video?
Yes, I have.
I saw it.
It is pretty amazing.
Right.
Definitely
That's
awesome.
that's when like 80% of people on Reddit realize they'll never be that good, and they're done. Never play
Man,
Widowmaker ever
once
again.
they get in, they're gonna be the #1 team at BlizzCon in 3 months. They don't even need 6.
How can there be tournaments when I don't even have beta access, Minstrel?
Yeah,
God.
I
it's a
don't know.
mystery.
Oh man.
I'm just glad I haven't gone up against this cancer comp personally, because when we do mixes and stuff, we have a rule: no cancer comps. So we actually play legitimate compositions.
Yeah.
Legitimate ones? I mean,
Worst
I
ones.
hate it. Okay, what's the legitimate composition? I mean, there's no such thing as legit, right? I hate it when people talk
soldiers and
about that.
one
That's it.
Hanzo
It
is
is what it
legit.
is, right? Yeah. So, talk about casting games with that type of composition, Jason. Like, we've talked about production. I know a lot of players, like at least in the Discord channel, we talk about just how it is as a viewer and how it's kind of frenetic and crazy and hard to follow when it's just tracers, literally like 4 tracers just blinking everywhere. But as a caster, I guess, how difficult is it to cast that compared to just some of the, I guess more traditional compositions, or even compared to the Winston craziness we had like 3 or 4 weeks ago?
So I haven't been able to cast it much,
Mhm.
because I didn't cast last weekend, and the weekend before that it wasn't really a big thing. But the problem you have casting, I don't know, mirror comps is so annoying to cast, because like it's hard to just see who's who kind of thing. You
Yeah.
see 2 tracers jumping around, it's hard to keep up. It's hard to build a story that people want to watch. Like, oh well, Tracer in the backline, she kills Zenyatta, good job.
And there's still another Tracer and another Zenyatta.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you can't refer to like, oh well, Tracer went in. Like the thing is, it's hard to say a player's name on a certain character or a certain hero, like you can do in League or CS. Well, in League it's easy because there's only one of each. But in this, you can't really cast it easily, and people can't just like hear Tracer. Oh, see the moving really fast chick who's British running around and see and know who you're talking about. You say, Minstrel, and they're like, all right, well, what's he on? Look at the bottom. Okay, he's already dead. Like it's too hard to actually see where the action's happening. No offense. But also there's this whole problem of people like saying, well, we want more first person. Well, you can go fuck off, because it's not about the individual play. It's about the story and the whole aspect of how the team's fighting. And people complain about that. They complain about, oh, it's too much third person or too much free cam, too much first person. It's like you can't win with viewers when it comes to that. And you can't really. The action's still too fast. Like, even before in the first beta phase, ults were up, so damn quickly. It's hard to actually build a proper story. Like, oh, well, Ster, he actually got 3 kills over here. Now his ultimate's up, and he's gonna go in for the big fight. Instead, it's just like everyone has ultimate. Everyone's throwing everything they have at each other. It's
They
not
all have
easy
each
to
other.
cast. Yeah, and then you have to also have the fact of the production side of it, which I think ZP and I are the ones that do. Where I'm sitting there literally on my phone, timing every checkpoint they get to. That I'm like over here. All right, let me just type that in, update the graphic, and I'm back. Luckily, I don't have to observe at the same time.
That'll be split in the
but-
middle later.
It's not easy to spectate and cast well. But at the same note, I'm thankful that Blizzard actually put in the spectating mode into the closed beta, because then you can actually like practice casting. You can actually have tournaments. And then the biggest problem that you have in the current mode, or the observing mode, which I think you need a direct to camera for, is seeing a big play. In Counter-Strike, you see JW pick up 4 big op kills. You can watch him and see that happen, or you can just see on the kill cam and watch an overview, and it's slow enough that you can get an idea what's happening. Right now, I could see Taimu get 3 kills on the sniper, struggle to hit, F11 or 12 because there's 12 people in the game, and then catch it. So it's hard to see the great individual plays that you want to see in first person, but at the same time, you need to stay free cam to see the whole story of how the battle's breaking down. Sticking with one person doesn't tell you that Genji off on the left-hand side got 4 kills or got an amazing 1v1 kill that turned the tide of the fight. You can't see that. So it's just this big headache of this whole spectating and whatnot, but I know at least Blizzard are very open to ideas and very open to changing things and making it really accessible to watch, because you want to see this as a viewing esport, a spectator esport, but at the moment it's not making that easy.
Well, like you pointed out, I mean, right now the casters are double timing. I mean, you guys won't be you won't be running ops mode no later. You'll be casting off of somebody's camera like in the future.
Yeah,
of
at
course,
the high level, but like
we can't. We
the
should be.
That people are doing weekly. You can't do that. Like you cannot afford to have an observer, a producer. I mean, that costs money, and the people who just run like community run tournaments, they can't do that. And I mean, I guess you can volunteer to do it as observer in hopes of getting an observing job later, but it's just not easy accessible like Counter-Strike is, where you can hit D, leave it on direct to camera the entire time and cast off that as like someone just coming into it.
Right. I mean, it's true, but we do have to. It's like a little bit of a chicken and egg thing, right? Like we have to at least show a good product for people to be able to watch it, and if we keep limiting ourselves to not having an obs, then you guys just can't do it. Like you said, it's so hard to even just only cast this game, that having you guys be multitasking is impossible, and unless you have somebody like Mitchie or that's just like talking a million miles per hour and like covering it, any second that you're being pulled off on updating an overlay and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly why you don't see me cast too much during a team fight, is because I'm literally waiting with my phone to hit the button, because we've actually had games come down to like 2 or 3 seconds to make sure it's timed properly. And
yeah, but that affects you as a caster, what I mean? That's not fair to you as a caster too. So
I can honestly say Overwatch has been the hardest game I've had to cast, with all production and all the stuff outside of the game I physically have to do.
Right.
Get good.
Good. Get good.
What else do you want to hear?
I know, right? Well, eventually, at least the bigger tournaments, we are going to have at least one obser, I would hope, and I think ideally, I'd like to see 2 or 3, honestly. And
well, there's actually Gamers Assembly coming up, I think this week. I think on the 24th. Let me look that up real quick. That's the first LAN in France.
Oh, Overwatch
There's
LAN?
only 6
awesome.
spots total at the moment. So
26
we
to
need
28.
to raise that.
France, are you going, Minstrel? You flying?
France, no.
I don't know. I'm just like asking. I was like, wow, that's awesome.
It's $50 per person to get in, if I remember correctly. The prize pool is $2,000 for first place, when it costs you
not bad.
5 times 6 is $300 to get everyone in, plus travel, plus hotel.
So
it's only like French teams going.
Yeah.
So it's only like Melty going.
Just
Sure.
to be able to play and watch.
Go to that one, Ster. It's not that long of a flight for you, man. It's like
No, I'm not going.
6
I already
hours.
have the beta. I don't have to go to a LAN and like play the game for the first time.
oh my god, these people are going to play for the first time. No way.
That's probably
no
most
way.
of
They're
the
not gonna
people
pay
that'll try and go.
$300 to play the freaking first time.
Hey, people
Jeez.
pay a lot more to buy
Yeah,
accounts.
I think some people
My
would.
God.
I think there are. I don't know.
You
Like
guys.
it's got to be really hard right now to have a LAN in the first place.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With no Blizzard support, like watch there be a patch or a big maintenance during the time the tournament's happening. It's like, all right, your
No,
tournament's
They've
over,
been
get
good
out.
about that. They've been good about waiting on maintenance when there's an event. So you can't.
That's the
dog
last
them on
problem
that.
on the list.
Yeah.
There's got to be enough people that live in France and have the beta and play competitively first. Are there? I don't know.
There's Cooldown and there's Melty.
There you go.
All right. Well, are they both going? Are they,
No.
all,
I
Doing
bet they are.
So
$2,000.
Cooldown and Melty
are they
There's a
both
total
all in
of
France?
12.
9 teams signed up right now.
Yeah. 19.
Well,
Okay.
that surprises me.
Yeah.
Good on them.
I believe they're all French.
Okay. Well, that should be interesting. First LAN. Speaking of
Never
events.
mind. I'm going.
I'm
going then.
Speaking
I'm
of
getting up, I'm going.
speaking of
Let's
events,
get a team. I think we can win this.
get a team going.
Yeah.
All right. You got $300. If
I
you
mean,
if
I
you
live,
cover
like, a
if
2-hour
you
train ride away
cover
from it.
if you cover plane ride and hotel, I'll come.
What do I get back from
I'll
you
come.
for that? Do I get about
You
$1,000
get,
bucks
you
worth
get to
of...
hang out, dude. It's cool, man. It's cool. Okay, so speaking of events, we do have a co-host that's organizing an event that's in April, and co-host that's not here, not one of these guys. No, of course not one of these guys, but One Nation of Gamers and Fish Sticks have joined up, as well as Shade's helping out too, but joined up to organize this One Nation of Gamers Overwatch Invitational, which will be April 9th and 10th. 8 teams, 6 teams invited, and then 2 teams are actually 4 teams are going to battle out for the last 2 spots. But it's going to be 2 days, 2,400 prize pool. Jason, I think you're casting, right? Is that correct?
Was casting.
Oh, was casting. Okay.
Not anymore.
Never mind.
Don't have a co-caster to do it, so.
Oh man, feels bad, man.
Yeah, the one we had backed out, so.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you guys were going to do it on. You were going to be the secondary stream, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then the guy we had when we agreed to it, he backed out like a day or 2 ago, so we don't have anyone.
Yeah, but
Wow.
Yep.
Casters, we need Overwatch casters, folks. But $2,400, that's the biggest prize pool to date for Overwatch. So Fish Sticks, obviously, kudos to him for getting this together and making this a reality. He's been talking about this for a while. It looks like Joshy and Fish Sticks are going to be casting it. And yeah, it's going to be a 2-day event. Excited about it, Minstrel?
I'm excited it's more than one day, so you don't have to play 12 hours straight.
Yeah, exactly, right. And that's going to be, what is that, 3 weeks from now? 3 weeks from now.
I'm excited to see you guys get second place.
Oh, ouch.
Well, with Shade doing the brackets, I guess Mix-Up gets an automatic fine to first.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
Never mind.
boy.
I can say what I wanted to say.
No.
It's so easy to do the brackets, and if the brackets are messed up or rigged at all, I will throw a huge bitch fit about it.
All right, what is
It's
rigged?
like you take the
Tell-
Go-Su
tell-
Gaming's ranking, and
Yeah.
if they're not according to that, then they're bullshit brackets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Although the Gosu Gamer rankings also get messed up because there's like 8 European tournaments a week. so
That's
you
true
just
too.
grind out
It's hard to
those.
actually take that for as, I guess, fully in consideration too. But if you just
It's like IDD1, Envious 2,
Cloud9
probably
3,
Mixed Up
no,
3 or Cloud9 3.
Cloud9
Reunited
mix
will
up,
be
yeah,
third.
Cloud9 mix up are right there in there 3 or 4.
Yeah, so they'd be like 3 or 4, and then you'd have
Reunited
Reunited
5, yeah.
maybe 6, because Flathead has beaten them in the past, and then the other teams coming in, like G2 Melty should all take bottom seed, and Primer Life of Hanzo should have bottom seed as well.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear.
But my
think
question
Prime
is
might
EU
be
versus NA
disbanded.
first?
It should be-
I don't know. They probably
should
want
be.
an NA versus EU final, so they might split it.
This is being played.
Rigged. See?
This is being played on NA server though, right?
No.
Is it?
The winner of the coin flip, or the higher suit chooses server for the first map, loser chooses second.
Oh,
or the server for
nice.
second.
Okay, that's good. That's I guess as fair as you can do it. But anyways, definitely check it out, guys. This is one of the obviously Ghosted Gamers continues to do it every week, which is really great and consistent for the community. But this one's just I wouldn't say one off, but this is one of Fish Sticks Invitationals that he's been doing from time to time, and a little bit bigger, than the weekly tournaments, which is always nice to have. Like we'll get to the point where we will start having, bigger tournaments, like maybe ESL doing one in the near future. Who knows?
Say 2400 won't be anything when the game's out.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, I don't want $10,000 prize pools now. I mean, I think that would be crazy.
You can't do that. Unless
Yeah,
you guys did it, okay.
it would just be okay. $9,999. Okay.
We'll do an ESL tournament where it's winner take all, so that way Envious gets no money.
It's worked out well for you in the past.
Oh man. Oh.
We didn't do winner
Lots
take
of
all.
stuff.
Oh yeah, StarCraft Academy. I remember that. If that's what you're referring to.
Okay, let's take maybe a couple questions and call it a day. Let's see. One from Tokyo Ska. Will the competitive scene be split between console and PC players? Not necessarily 50-50. Will there be support for console? And folks that want to get their questions in, tweet the overview GG, and we'll try to read them out. Or you can just tweet me at ChanManV, whatever, and I'll read maybe one or two in addition to this out. So what do you guys think? Consoles or PC? We talked a little bit about it.
PC. It's not gonna happen. The only reason like Halo and Call of Duty were popular console esports, even a little bit popular, was because they didn't have PC versions. If they did, and they had this big
Call
of
of
a
Duty
PC
4?
community,
Call of Duty definitely
What?
on PC.
Call of Duty 4?
Is that Black Ops?
I know like 3 casters out there in
Oh
my
my
own
God.
like office that will like beat you up for that.
But
the
they
COD
play.
scene-
I,
PC scene was never
well,
close
didn't they
to
use
as big.
Pro Mod, and that was only on PC?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm saying, did people still play on console for Call of Duty 4 when there was a PC option?
Yeah, probably.
I think they-
Probably
I don't
also
know.
a lot more tournaments.
I don't know. I'm just saying whatever.
I'm just saying. Can you imagine it happening with Overwatch though?
Yes,
It will happen.
because
Big
they'll
Xbox
It will happen.
sponsor them.
Yep.
They're gonna have
Oh
sponsors.
yeah, I guess
console
Xbox
tournaments for
exclusive.
sure.
We got Recall first.
But it's going to be.
There-
You think
Well,
there's going to
it-
be console only tournaments? I mean, I think this is
Yeah,
going to
of
be
course.
cross-port.
Yeah.
This is going to be cross-platform,
Dude,
right?
There's not
there
good-
was Evolve,
No.
PlayStation
No?
4, and Xbox tournaments like separate.
What
If
was
there's
Evolve?
a
What was
really
Evolve?
bad game.
Evolve. Evolve.
Start
God,
from the
Evolve
beginning.
had.
What game?
Evolve had this like. Oh, it's such. The concept is so good, but what ended up happening it just didn't work out at all. You don't know what Evolve is, Ster? It's basically Left 4 Dead like tank versus everybody.
Really? Never heard of it.
Yeah.
But
shut up.
they
Good.
can't possibly have cross-platform unless they include huge aim assist, and then you just have a whole another problem there. And basically, you've got like a team of aimbots versus people using mice.
Is this bad for competitive scene having it split like this? I mean, are we gonna have to like?
No.
Okay, guys,
can't
this is a console
cross-platform it.
tournament. This isn't a piece. This
Well-
is a PC tournament, and what's gonna be I guess the default world championship is gonna
A
be on
big
PC.
question is
and
also,
it's
how is
gonna be
Blizzard
weird.
even going to handle the consoles? Are they going to receive updates? Is it going to be updated often? Are they going to be able to do these like at the same times? The
That's
Orange Box
true.
TF2 never received a single
Oh,
update.
that's
Like, how
scary.
are they going to handle the consoles?
Sir,
First place.
it'll be Counter-Strike Global Offensive on console that literally hasn't had a single update since the game was released.
Oh, that
Yeah,
is
like
painful.
that. I don't think Blizzard's going to do that, but you have to wonder how they're going to handle it before you can even begin to know
I think they'll
if
push
people are going to play
updates
on
to
it.
both, like to consoles and to PCs. But like, there's
That-
100% going to
man.
be PC tournaments and console tournaments. But PC will be the biggest one. I mean, you look at the track record of Blizzard. Every game has always been a PC game. That's been big. So there'll be console
Whoa.
tournaments, but it won't be anywhere near the prize pool or as big as PC will be.
I'm worried about like updates being pushed to just all platforms at the same time because that's gonna mean if they are at the same time, that means they're gonna have the longer testing.
Well,
I mean, it's gonna take
we
forever
don't-
for these things to come out. Like,
We don't even know the beginning of what they plan on, how they plan on updating. Like, if they want to do big, like, one-off expansions, they could have them ready at the same time on all consoles. But are they even going to do that?
that's-
Are they
I don't
going to
mind
have?
that.
There's
No
also
one
the
knows.
problem of the balance is going to be completely different on console versus PC just because of the
Oh, new
input
meta.
devices.
See, this is
Yeah.
just nightmarish.
Dude,
Ugh.
Genji, like doing the one-shot combo with a thumbstick. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow,
Jesus.
that would be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Actually, thinking about that. Okay, Sure4, he's got a question. With more and more teams showing up each tourney, what do you guys think about region locking the tourneys?
yes.
I like
please.
that. Yes, definitely
Yes.
region locking.
If you have enough
It's
EU teams to fill up
inevitable.
an EU tournament, then lock out NA. If you have enough or NA teams to fill up an NA tournament, lock out EU.
It-
It's standard.
No question. We'll have
Well,
plenty of teams.
I don't necessarily agree because
What?
Hubris played
Well, okay.
Nosgoth, and the EU teams all complained to the admins to get them banned because they would win all the EU cups. So I don't think you should region lock the tournaments. If the team wants to play cross,
No, I think-
that's fine.
I think there definitely should be big tournaments that are not region locked, so we can kind of bring together like the best teams. We need storylines in each region. I think that's my biggest thing, as well as just I think I can see there being 50 teams like in each region eventually wanting to play these things in these tournaments. So it's multiple reasons why I think it should be, and then we can come together, for like big cross region, type of battle. Who's the
most
best region
hyped
type of thing?
tournaments in League of Legends was the ones where you had cross region play. Is where
Yeah.
you had like IPL 4. I think was like dawned as the best League of
That's
Legends
right.
tournament ever to exist because it had teams from every region competing against each other. Like you eventually need that, but you also need.
Yeah,
to
but you
have-
can't do that every week.
Oh no,
No,
of course not. No,
Of
no,
course
that's like,
not.
that's
Yeah.
like once or twice.
Oh, we're
a
we're
year
not
kind of
talking
thing.
about weekly
Yeah,
tournaments.
that's what
We're-
I mean, though.
I don't think we're going to be. I don't think weekly tournaments are going to be. Once things start ramping up and we start seeing like bigger events and things like that, I think the weekly tournaments will may just take a back seat. Like I don't know if like go-to gamers, like what we're seeing right now. I think teams will might like not play these weekly tournaments just to prepare for the bigger tournaments and things like that.
Sorry, IPL 5 by the way, my mistake.
If there's equivalent tournaments happening in EU and NA,
Yeah.
people are going to play whatever region that is their region, so they don't have to deal with the ping. So it's just
Sure.
if there's going to end up being enough tournaments, you're not even going to have people wanting to do crossplay.
I think that's the problem coming up is all the tournaments. People want to run tournaments every day of every week or at the same time as other
Don't
tournaments.
tell me that. Oh, yeah.
Oh no, trust
Not
me.
again. Yeah.
Like the first couple months of Overwatch being out, you almost have a tournament every day.
And that was
and it would
terrible.
be a giant headache.
That's terrible. It's like we don't want to be oversaturated right from the freaking get-go. Like I
It will
don't
be,
want to see
100%.
that. Ugh, I don't want to see that. At
The
all.
only way you can stop that is by having tournaments that are way more money, because then the teams that have a chance of winning that won't play in the smaller tournaments because they don't give away any strats. And
Was
Minstrel's
that-
been really quiet.
Yeah, Minstrel. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to play
Plotting.
every day, right, Minstrel?
No, I mean,
Yeah, I do.
no, you don't want to play like tournament matches every day because it's tiring. And I mean, obviously, if you can avoid playing like a $50 tournament on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you're gonna want to do that.
It's also the same problem that Virtus Pro had in CS:GO, where they played literally every tournament that ever existed for like a 4-month period of time. And the problem was that they were losing a lot of these tournaments because they didn't have the time to sit down and practice
Right,
and review
exactly.
the demos of how they were playing, and you get burned out too easily that way.
Yeah, so I think the teams naturally will be more selective. It will have something to do with prize pool, definitely. But God, I still don't want to see just the tournaments every single day of the week. That's just gonna kill spectating and just like getting hyped up for whatever events.
Well, it kills like crowds as well. Not crowds. It kills like
Just hype. It just kills
hype for a team because
Yeah.
it's like, you can't easily build like a storyline or a fan base for a team if you're like playing every tournament. You want to see them play the big ones.
I mean, we even saw it to a very minor degree pre-break, and we saw MVS and Mix-Up literally playing back-to-back days for 3 or 4 straight days. It's like, how can I get hyped for any of those events when I've literally seen it over and
Yeah,
over
this
again?
question
Yeah.
is making me mad. Can we get the next question?
Okay.
I'm upset.
All right. We'll just take one more. We've gone like over the 2-hour mark now. Dan G asks, what do you guys think about 5v5 or 4v4 instead of 6v6? Cleaner spectating, easier balancing, easier to cast, smoother play?
I
Yes.
had really wanted to see some experimenting with this kind of stuff because they gave us all the tools to do it. They gave us the tools to adjust ultimate charge and instant respawns and all this stuff. I had mentioned to you even that I wanted
Yep.
to try just doing it for fun. It didn't have to be like serious or competitive. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. You're doing it wrong. But I wanted to try 3v3 King of the Hill with instant respawns. And,
Shut up,
and see if
Ster.
you could
You're
just have...
wrong, man.
Damn.
Just go.
No, I just wanted to see how it played out. I don't think anyone has really tried to go and do anything different.
Yeah, I mean, I for one-off events, I think it's a cool idea. I mean, I think it'd be fun and to try. I mean, just generally just playing for fun is what you were talking about. Of course, I think that would be interesting. But even one-off events, why not? Go 4v4 and have some fun doing that. But I can't see 4v4 or 5v5 ever being like
Save it for the
can't.
The go-to.
All-Star match at BlizzCon.
the all-star match with the legends, the legends
Can't
of
happen, though.
6
That's the
months.
problem. It just can't, because like Blizzard's whole they're changing a fundamental aspect of the game of 6v6 to like 5v5. They won't happen. Like, yeah, you can have these once in a while fun tournaments, but it's not going to be worth it, and it's not really going to get you anywhere in the long run, especially having these teams cut 1 or 2 people from their rosters to play in a tournament. It's like, all right, Mitchell, we saw you on the overview and you were a jerk, you're out. We don't want to play with you. You want to play with this 5. Like, you just can't kick people off a team after they put in so much time like that because you want a smaller number for a tournament.
For the TF2 is well aware of this as well, that people don't even know that 6v6 is the competitive format because there was no matchmaking or anything like that. So like actually having 6v6 being the game mode that you play in Overwatch is good to be able to relate to and say, I play quick play, I know exactly what they're playing. Like Counter-Strike, you know exactly what Counter-Strike ranked play is. And that's the competitive. It's good to have that equal sign there. And if you start doing all these crazy rule sets, people are just like, there's a big disconnect of like, wait, I don't even get what.
Right.
What happened?
I thought competitive was 24/7 2-4 insta.
I know. That's what I thought too for the longest time.
Oh, crazy.
I wish there was like custom maps, like in TF2, like 1v1 arenas, like to practice a certain character or practice a certain point. Like in CS, it's amazing because you can practice certain takes. You can practice a certain part of a map against a 1v1 or a 5v5. But will Blizzard give the tools to be able to do that?
Why can't you? Can you not do
No,
that?
no. Well, you can, but I'm talking like a specific map. I can't think of what they have in TF2, but it's two soldiers
MG,
fighting over.
yeah.
They're fighting over this like
MG.
one. Yeah, Spire. Thank you.
Yeah.
And they just literally attack each other over and over again. And like, if you want to practice Widowmaker doing these air shots, like, yeah, you can sit there and do it. I don't know if you can tweak cooldowns. Can you in custom settings?
Yeah,
You can, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you want your
yeah.
like CS aim map. You know, you want to be able to practice 1v1 just on raw aim alone. Because strategy you can practice in scrims, but raw aim you can't really do as easily in custom games.
I don't think they'll have it on launch, but I think they notice that people want this because people are bringing up how skirmish mode is really poorly made, and it takes the whole amount of time of the skirmish to get to the middle of the map, and people, it's fun. It's good to just have a place to practice.
Or having no one to play against in skirmish and just wanting to
just running around. Yeah.
I know skirmish was made in like 4 days, but that's besides the point.
All right, guys. Well, why don't we wrap up the show? It's been a good, solid 2 hours here. Fun discussions with you guys, and definitely happy to have all three of you guys come on since my co-hosts are missing. So I'm really happy that we were able to knock out a great episode. I want to do some shout outs before we take off. Minstrel, want to start off?
I have my contractually obligated sponsorship shout
You're not
outs.
supposed to say that.
And who are they?
Hey,
do you have the list?
I'd like to thank the refreshing taste of Monster Energy,
Yes.
Alpha Draft,
He's getting good.
Astro headsets, DX Racer gaming chairs, Elgato Gaming, Scuff Gaming, and Twitch.tv.
Are you reading this from something?
Dude,
No.
Hush. He's doing good. He's doing good, man. Guy, what are you giving him
Wait,
so much crap?
Minstrel, what headphones are you wearing right now?
Oh,
They're actually-
no. Oh, what is it?
That did not look like
Those
an
are
Astro
sign
headset.
hydrants, right? Or
Well,
something?
they haven't
That's
sent me any yet.
Okay, those
so
are like
Is
sign
that,
hydrants.
is that a
I
red?
think.
Is that a red boy I see on your desk beside you?
No.
You can't even see my desk.
I know.
I
He's
have my
just
Little
kidding.
Mermaid.
Little
poster.
Mermaid, though. He's got that spot. He's got that poster over there. All right, nice. Ster, you want to do shout outs?
Shout out to ChanManV.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Shout out to my wife. I haven't seen her in like a day. Shout out to my stream. Yes, I do one of those. I hear I'm a salty ball sack, but I still do it anyway, despite my my shortcomings.
Playing some Flame Break today, right?
God damn.
Yeah.
That is some great promotion there, man.
Said
Awesome.
never mind. I'm not gonna get in there. You said shortcomings, and I'm just like thinking about what kind of shortcomings you could be talking about.
Of being a salty ball sack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that where my mind went? But all right.
Jason, you want to do some shout outs?
ChanManV for having me on, even though I missed the first one. My future wife, she's out there somewhere. ESL for actually giving me the opportunity to work on Overwatch mostly full time and to be able to do what I do. And of course, my parents for supporting me when I was at a rough time in my life, wanting to actually explore esports and work with it. And they gave me the opportunity to.
All right.
Thanks for that. Thanks for
That's
that laugh.
definitely
Whoever
good.
that was.
Whoever that laugh was.
She is out there somewhere.
Yeah. It's
Maybe she heard the
Your wife.
shortcomings part, and she.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
no.
Just round things up by thanking the three of you guys. It's always Ster having you back on. Just co-host for a long time, and it's always great getting a chance to
Anytime.
Yeah, and Jason.
Anytime, but not every time.
Jason is the reason why I called Jeff Jason that one episode, because he was supposed to be on that one episode, and I just like, oh man, I'm never gonna live that down. But
Oh yeah, shouts to Ster for correcting you on that one.
yeah, that's true. I would. Oh my god, I would have continued doing it for a while. That's the sad thing, because it was
You
subconscious.
did it a couple of times.
It was like
and I
subconsciously
every
on my
time
brain.
I knew it was
Oh,
sat there.
yeah. So Jason's.
At some point, I had to
he's
speak up.
he's been in my subconscious at moments in my life. So thanks for that.
I have that effect on people.
and then Minstrel for the second time coming on. So really appreciate you coming on and just having the insight you always give. It's definitely great to get your perspective from, especially you being on one of the best teams in Overwatch.
And my boundless enthusiasm.
Yeah, boundless enthusiasm. It's character.
Positive attitude
It's
that gets us
character,
through these shows.
right? It has nothing to do with enthusiasm. But thanks to all the viewers too for hanging out, checking out the show. If it's the first time watching it, definitely follow the show at the Overview GG on Twitter if you're interested in just whenever whenever I announce news on when it's going to be. It's generally every Tuesday at 4 p.m., which is this time. And Fish Sticks and Shade will be back, and hopefully we can talk about some more changes. I'm sure there's going to be some bad changes in the coming weeks and even more events. But until then, for Minstrel, Ster, Jason, and myself, ChanManV, we'll see you next week. Later.